I love teaching, and during my whole career path, I have had an opportunity to walk in the room and share my knowledge with the audience. Otherwise, I would feel miserable, because it makes me happy, gives me the feeling of happiness, and people see me with sparkling eyes. We can say that Kazakhstan is a leader in advancing the gender equality agenda in terms of advancement of women and girls. Stereotypes about women exist all over the world, and Kazakhstan is no exception. But we have own history, culture, religion, some of fears and blocks that have been passed down from generation to generation. A girl should be modest. A girl should be silent. A girl has to please. A girl should be comfortable. Here is a key message that comes from almost every family, regardless of ethnicity in Kazakhstan. The girl must be comfortable. No country in the world can claim that it has achieved gender equality. Although, according to some ratings, the Scandinavian and European states occupy the first positions in the gender equality. Kazakhstan also leads in gender equality among other Central Asian states, but we can't claim that we are in better conditions than our neighboring states, because we are aware of the shortcomings, problems that exist in our society, which really hinder the creation of a new free and equal Kazakhstan.
В обществе.
There is still persistent prejudice against women. I see it among my male colleagues. It happens all the time, during every meeting. First, they look at men being oblivious to you, and when you start speaking and showing your expertise, they turn around and say, "Oh, really? You seem to know something." A rural governor considered to be a male position. In general, positions of regional governor or mayor are offered to men all over the world, not only here. Usually, a young Bolashak scholarship graduator comes from the city to the village, maybe to show off or to have a record in employment history. I want to change this system. I decided for myself that I wouldn't be one of such people. I want to fully understand how it works, what is the problem, so that later I would not just sit and blink my eyes and pretend that I know.
Well, there are the tasks and problems, which I would like Governor to pay attention to. And she did it. She started dealing with them.
I remember my first spring when I asked them them to have a look at the cattle. And we went into every yard because then I thought and now I think that marking, recording livestock is very important for us. This is food security. This is the most important thing, national security. Food and water security are fundamental. I wore rubber boots, and some of my subordinates, knowing that I was a Bolshak graduator and studied abroad, told me, Bella Aslambekovna, no one will believe that you are walking through the sheds, covered in manure and looking into the eyes of every cow. But I told my colleagues mayors that I knew every cow in the village.
Once some lords from England came to us as observers at the elections, and she talked to them in English fluently. And when they began to praise her that she spoke with British accent, of course I was amazed. Not only I, we all saw it. We began to respect her more. When she came to school and saw the English lessons, she said, "This is not the level, and children should be taught a different English. Children should receive a completely different Kazakh language, and we should do it." So she solved this problem too.
Итак, hoş geldiniz diye. Мы начинаем.
I got the idea to organize language summer schools. I offered this idea to Bolshak graduators. Thus, we held these schools for 6 years, and not one refused me.
Что-то такое необычное, что-то завораживающее. Мы не знали, чего от этого ожидать, что нас...
For us, it was something so unusual. We didn't know at all what to expect, what awaits us at the school. Then we came to this school and we met teachers, including Bella Aslambekovna. She came to the school, taught us. Sometimes she just shared some useful information to understand the language better. It was exciting.
К нам в школу, проводила какие-то занятия, где-то просто какую-то информацию давала, помогала что-то с языком. Это достаточно было так увлекательно.
There is a notable difference between boys and girls living in urban areas compared to those living in rural areas. Those living in rural areas are more modest, unspoiled, let's say more sincere, and they really study with great interest. I came to her in tears because I did not gain enough points. At that moment, she said, "Calm down, everything will be fine." And in the end, everything was good. I entered the university, and 4 years later, I became a certified specialist in foreign languages. This is all thanks to Bella Aslambekovna, thanks to the knowledge that she shared. I am grateful to her for this.
Здесь ей просто огромное спасибо за это.
When I received a message from her in direct 4 years later and read that she graduated abroad, learned languages, and in general everything worked out in her life, I thought that I probably don't live my life in vain. I can help someone, inspire someone. I want to believe, and I know it too, that I have become a certain guideline for many girls.
Девушек, я становлюсь определенным таким ориентиром, что вот да, можно.
Bella's big mission is to inspire other people to great achievements, to great deeds and the right things. And probably such people today should and will build a fair and just Kazakhstan. She constantly works on herself and inspires other people to work on self-improvement in the same way. A graduate of the Bolshak program is a person who throughout his or her life demonstrates the need for constant work on oneself. Lifelong learning is probably one of life principles of Bella Gazdieva.
Решение о работе в родине — это
I am proud that once I decided to work in the Rodina village. I am glad that this happened in my life. Although many people did not understand me, I received negative feedback from my dear people.
о том, что вот вы перспективный ученый.
They condemned me going to work as a state official instead of developing the science.
То есть на науке можно поставить крест.
И какие-то сложные вот такие вещи, как изучение языков.
Я люблю долгие прогулки в одиночестве.
Точно так же, как ваш ИПР, да, индивидуальный план развития. Она, конечно, тоже тормозит женщин в карьере.
Я поняла, что мою жизнь никто не проживет. Мои боль, ошибки.
I realized that no one would live my life, my pain, my mistakes, and my joy. So I myself want to experience it. Therefore, if at some point I realize that it is necessary to make a sharp turn, I will do it. Because at the end of the day, no one knows with what thoughts and heart I go to bed, what is in my soul. Only you are the blacksmith of your own happiness.
Не перестаю восхищаться. Мой наставник
Aygul Dojanovna Zhakupova is the woman I never ceased to admire. I saw her when I was a student. She entered the room and I remember her beauty and grace.
Преподавала старославянский, чтобы вы понимали, один из самых сложных предметов, и латынь.
She taught us Old Slavic language. This was the most difficult subject. This was the first time she broke the stereotype that a beautiful young woman can be so smart.
Мы обратили внимание на ее исследовательский потенциал. Это человек, который уже тогда, если она даже...
When she was a student, we paid attention to her research potential. She had such an ability to search, learn, and find. We admired her social position, civic position, to be in the thick of things.
Ее активность, ее общественная позиция, вот такая гражданская позиция, то есть быть в гуще событий. Она...
At the Faculty of Philology, she was distinguished by her erudition. It was outstanding.
Разные поступают, но эрудиция филологическая именно у Беллы, конечно, она сразу отличалась. Это было заметно.
Я очень много вижу тех,
I meet many of those people who gave their lives to the civil service, who are cogs in the system, who do colossal work every day for a small salary, burning out and reborn again like a phoenix bird. They are moving forward to this enormous mechanism called the state and public administration.
управление двигают вперед. Я преподавала в 2009 году в университете Хельсинки.
I started teaching in 2009 at the University of Helsinki when I did an internship there. I was a candidate of Philological Sciences and then I had lectures on the language policy of Kazakhstan.
Это было так страшно вообще выходить.
I didn't sleep for a week. It was so scary to go out in the foreign audience, students.
Я похудела за эту неделю.
This was a colossal stress stress. I seem to have lost weight this week. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I couldn't do anything. It was the first time when I talked about my country. Students became interested. They asked questions. They wanted to learn more. I advised to read some literature. Then I held meetings and seminars at different venues. I was in Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and the United Kingdom. This was a huge experience. I addressed people who graduated from the best universities in the world. It was scary and exciting, but in general, this gives me power and strength for a long distance. You know, every person should have some kind of place of power or some kind of action that charges own batteries. And for me, it is teaching.
Какое-то место силы или какое-то действие, которое заряжает твои батарейки. Вот преподавание для меня это то, что заряжает.
Parents shall believe in their children. If you do not let your daughter or your son to some big city and say that he or she will fail as a human being, then this is your fault. It means that you did not inculcate in this child what you were supposed to do.
No one knows how to be mom and dad initially. Together with our parents, we learn to be them by trial and error. I had many fears. When I first went to the Congress in Washington, it was so difficult for me to fly alone. Although I was 25, 26 years old, I felt like a little girl with many complexes. I don't want my kids to be like this.
Для меня с самого детства,
My mother has been my role model since childhood. Despite the fact that we are from an English family, it is not accepted with us. But my mother was allowed to study. She is a candidate of sciences. She knows 3 languages perfectly. She is very hardworking and she always has a thirst for knowledge. My mother will always support us, no matter what we do. If you want to be the doctor, please go. If you want to be the IT expert, I will always support you. Mom never scolded for grades. She said, well, it's okay, you'll fix it next time.
Врачом сына, ты видишь, как не хватает, как нужны доктора.
During the pandemic, I told my son, maybe you will become a doctor. You see how the country lacks them. He told me, why do you need a doctor who does not like his profession? And I agreed, we don't need such a doctor. Unfortunately, we have people who do not like their profession, and it all ends very badly. Come on, you can be the history teacher as you want, I said. Let him take responsibility for his own choice. Many children study the specialty which was chosen by their parents, so they graduate, bring a diploma to their parents, but became engaged in completely different sphere. I would not like that. I would like them to have a passion.
Мне бы хотелось, чтобы у них была страсть.
I'm a pensioner. I didn't earn for my lunch. You moved somewhere. People know her. She worked hard. If something didn't work out for her, she could sit at night to achieve results. This is the main thing. She also brings into the world the idea of the Assembly of People of Kazakhstan, based on the common Kazakh mentality.
На основе, такой общеказахской ментальности.
Here is Bella Gazdieva, a vivid example of this thesis, and she proves with all her work that she is committed to the idea of a united people of Kazakhstan.
Привержена идее единого народа.
We're different in ethnicity, in religion. We may have different political views, but at the same time, we remain one nation.
Мы остаемся единой нацией.
Once, having arrived from a business trip abroad, I told my mother, you know, I don't know why my heart cries more in separation from the sounds of Lizginka or the sounds of Dombra. I react the same way to these patterns. Becoming older, I understand that I belong to 2 worlds. I am an English daughter of the Kazakh steppes. That is for sure.
Ты понимаешь, что ты принадлежишь к двум мирам. Я ингушская дочь казахских степей, это однозначно.
I am a Kazakh with English roots.
С русскими корнями.
I understand that not all English are ready to hear this and not everyone likes it, but I honor English traditions. I know the language, culture, I observe everything. I am English and yes, I am Kazakh.